come from the land of the giants where passions rage and talents.
We come from the land of the giants. We come from a land where people are very, very ambitious, and not just ambitious, but they also help out the community. They also succeed. And this morning, I want to discuss a bit of that and how we control that legacy. And to help me do that, I want to welcome Amrita Maraj Dubey, the Senior Corporate Communications Officer at the Ministry of Sport and Community Development. Good morning, Amrita.
Good morning to your team. Thanks for having me once again. I do miss coming in studio because
we all do.
I said to you earlier, the energy of this team is really unique and special. So I guess I missed that. So
yes, we all miss the coming together, but we're gonna be safe for the greater good, and hopefully soon enough we can return to some level of normalcy.
Great. Thanks for having me.
So I understand that the Ministry of Sport is organizing this a panel discussion series on a community sport Titan initiative. Let's start with, what is this Titan initiative about?
Okay, so if we look at the actual word Titan itself, it refers to someone who is great, someone who has had tremendous impact on the lives of others. And we at the Ministry of Sport and Community Development devised this Community Sport Titan initiative to really recognize those foot soldiers in the community who have really worked assiduously to build sport at that level. And we've decided to open nominations for Community Sport Titans. It actually began earlier this month and it's going to end on July 9th. And we are inviting persons across Trinidad and Tobago, regardless of whether you're part of a sporting body or not, whether you know someone at that community level who has really build your community through sport, whether it's through hosting competitions, whether it's through coaching, or just generally supporting sporting initiatives in the community. We want you to nominate persons to celebrate their legacies through the Community Sport Titan initiative. And to do so, you can head on over to the ministry's website, mscd.gov.tt, where you will find the nomination form. You can also click on the ministry's cover photo of our Facebook page, where you can access the link. So we intend to produce a docu-series sort of highlighting the journeys and celebrating the successes of these community sport titans at the end of nominations, when we would have shortlisted persons for recognition.
Okay, so we shortlisting people we're going to get. How many we aiming to get?
We're aiming to get a total of 20 persons across all districts in Trinidad and Tobago. So we really want all sporting bodies, whether you're at the national level, the community level, at the individual level also, because there are persons out there who are really producing or giving human service to the area of sports. And they may not necessarily be established individuals or individuals who are part of a group or an established institution, but we really want to recognize all persons, men and women, who have really built sport at the community level. And I just want to say something. The ministry, we are intended to build sustainable communities. And sport is a very important tool or vehicle to achieving that, because it's not just about recreation activity or just having something to pass time by. It is actually used for economic development, to drive development of communities. So using this Sport Titan initiative ties back to that broader goal of creating sustainable communities.
All right, so we look forward to seeing how that's going to run, because I think it's always very nice when we say we lost the fact that the village can raise the family and raise the children, and I think that this is one way to get that back on track and to incorporate the village into the successes of the entire community through sport. So this is a great initiative. I applaud it, and we look forward to seeing how it develops. And I encourage you guys to nominate the people in your community who have been making a difference using sport and through sport and who've achieved in sport. I know there's some very particular criteria, but I'm sure they give the criteria on the website and on the Facebook page, so you can go check it out there. But there's also a panel discussion coming up on June 30th about breaking the cycle and changing the game. Tell me what this one is about.
All right, so I think earlier this year, I would have spoken about the Pink Rain campaign, which is designed to increase female representation in sports and physical activity as a whole. The panel discussion series, You Go Girl, is really designed to address those core issues that impact women's participation or girls' participation in sports as a whole. So throughout this discussion, this panel discussion series, we've been touching on some really critical issues. The first one we talked about diet and lifestyle and how this impacts a woman's ability or a young girl's ability to participate in sport. We looked at the issues specific to women, whether it's PCOS, polycystic ovaries, diabetes, or other health-related issues that really impact their fitness goals and their athletic ambitions. We then moved into we talked about the issues impacting participation in sport, whether it's access to transportation, having sport more available at the primary school level, just those cultural issues or stereotypes that prevent women from pursuing careers in sport, for example.
Yeah.
And going into those stereotypes, we talked about things like colorism. Girls aren't supposed to be out of the sun playing sport for too long. We talked about the stereotype of women adopting this masculine physique, and the thorns or issues that women face, and also the fact that women have to deal with or balance motherhood responsibilities in addition to their sporting ambitions, which sometimes sort of impede their abilities to really pursue sporting ambitions. We talked about allyship as well, the role of men, for example, in nurturing that ecosystem, whether you are at the administrator level, coach level, just supporting women and encouraging them to really aspire to leadership positions, which is what this panel discussion is going to touch on. Actually, women ascending to leadership in sport, whether it's at the managerial level, the administrator level. And our lineup is a very powerful lineup. We have Claire Mitchell, the president of the Basketball Federation. We have Sonia Johnson, the president of the Chess Association, and of course, Ms. Anna Knott of the TTOC Secretary General. And they are going to share their experiences in terms of the challenges they would have encountered on their journey to leadership in sport, and also motivate and inspire other women and girls to consider sport not just as a hobby, but as a viable career option as well. So that is what we want to get into this upcoming panel discussion on June 30th. It's going to be live streamed on our Facebook page at 1 p.m. And of course, we really encourage your listeners, your viewers, to really tune into those sessions and provide your questions in advance. You can send us an inbox message on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, so that we can actually understand your concerns or your comments, and you can have a voice in this panel discussion as well.
And they're sending those comments and questions to the ministry's page, so the Ministry of Sport and Community Development's Facebook page.
Yes, you can definitely send us a message. You can also email them to pesdivision@gmail.com. And, we usually respond very quickly to our social media questions or comments, but definitely send us in, because we would love to hear your thoughts on women ascending to leadership positions in sport.
Yeah, and all the challenges that they would face and how to overcome them. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of that information as well. But Amrita, I want to thank you very much for joining us this morning and for sharing all this information, and congratulations on the work that the Ministry of Sport and Community Development have been doing and will continue to do as we move forward. So with that, we take a break. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been chatting with Amrita Maraj Dubey, the Senior Corporate Communications Officer at the Ministry of Sport and Community Development. When we come back, we still have more inside in our morning show, so please stay tuned.